Hello, everyone. I am heading off to the thrift store, Salvation Army. I wasn't going to go today because I'm incredibly tired because we had our late night sale last night. And then, of course, after our late night sale, I couldn't sleep. I had my insomnia going on crazy, so I stayed up and I tried to watch a movie and fall asleep. That didn't work out so well. So, I didn't go to sleep till about 4 a.m. And I had set my alarm for 7 because I had an estate sale to go to this morning. And it started, well, it's supposed to start at 9, but they always start a little bit early. So I wanted to be there by, like 8:30 at the latest. And I need to go by the bank because they only take cash. I know, in this day and age, an estate company that doesn't take cards, I don't know, but they don't. So if I look horrible and sound tired, it's because I am. But that's the nature of the beast. So I'm probably going to end up taking a nap later today. It looks like it may rain, so that's fantastic because that's good sleeping weather. To try to get myself caught up a little bit on some rest. So I'm heading to the thrift store right now. It's 12 o'clock, which is later than I wanted to go, but it's the quickest I could do it. I had to eat something this morning because I didn't end up not eating anything much yesterday. I was just too busy. And when you're already tired, when you're already tired, it's like you feel like you need some food or something in your body just to get you going. So I decided to take a break in between the estate sale this morning and going to the thrift because I needed some food to kind of re-energize me. So if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. I can't kick myself for stopping to eat something and take a little break. I took a few minute break just to try to gather myself and my thoughts because I was at that estate sale for a while. And it was grungy. It was grungy dirty. They did the best they could with what they had, but it was a bit of a mess over there. So I came home and washed my hands and everything really good, ate something, sat down on the couch for about 10 minutes, and was like, I need to get up and get going. I can't be sitting around. So keep trying to push myself, keep going. Picked up a few things at the estate sale. Again, excuse me, I'm yawning. Again, I don't know. Until I get it cleaned up and look at it really good, I don't know the value of any of it, really, honestly. I got some cool cookbooks, a couple of cool cookbooks. And the old, see, I'm brain dead even. Anyway, the old, Gingham check cookbook. It's a Betty Crocker. Now, Better Homes and Gardens, Best Recipes, or whatever cookbook. The 3-ring binder one. I did get one of those. It's missing, I think it was missing a page or two out of the front, but still the recipes were in there. And it wasn't super old. It was from, I think, 1968 or somewhere around there. I picked that up, and I also got, which I had never seen before, it was the Better Homes and Gardens garden book, which is also the same size, like a 3-ring binder book. But I had never seen that one before. I don't believe out in the wild. I'm not sure I've ever seen it before. So I picked that up too because I was like, for the price of it, I'm gonna pick it up, and even if it doesn't have a huge amount of value, I would be interested in looking through it. And I'm not sure of the date on that one. I couldn't. Excuse me. I couldn't see the date inside the house. So I don't know what the date was. It's kind of dark in there, but I'm gonna look at that when I get home and have a couple of minutes because I found it very. I like the graphics. I thought it was really pretty. The flowers and stuff they had on there. I also got a Campbell's, one of the old Campbell's cooking with soup recipe cookbooks, and it has some pretty graphics on it as well. So I picked it up, and I think I got a Bible, and this Bible isn't necessarily for resale. This one I got because it's an older one, and it's a smaller one. I think it's just like the New Testament, but it was one of the older, leather bound. It's in pretty rough condition, but I really just wanted it for myself. I looked at it. Some of the pages seem to be a little loose, like the spine's not together good or whatever. But you could tell that this was a well-loved, well-used Bible. And it was smaller than most Bibles I've seen. So that drew me to it. It was like it had a story to tell. Well, actually, it definitely has a story to tell. But it has a story to tell about the person that had it previously, is what I'm trying to say. Anytime I find something like that, a Bible that's so, you can tell it was used and it was loved and it was something that they probably took with them when they went places and all that. So I got that for myself because I hold those kind of things very near and dear. So, got that. I'm trying to think what else I even picked up. I'm so tired now I can't remember even half the stuff I got. I did get a few cats. Got a couple of cows. Oh, and they had the Napco wear. It's like the Christmas boot. Oh my gosh, this place is jam-packed full. I'm not going to find anything. Anyway, the Napco Christmas boot, like it's a little pitcher, and it had the 4 little boot cups with it. So I picked those up because, we're going to be doing our Christmas in July sale very soon. So I went ahead and grabbed that because I figured I would just hold on to it till then. It's only a month away, So I grabbed those for you guys. I thought you would like those. And I'm going to run into this store and see if there's anything. A lot of people coming out empty-handed, so they may not restock from their sale the other day. I'll try to film a little bit if I can. See you guys very soon. So here we are in the blue section, I guess you'd call it. Like I said, they always arrange these things in colors in the store. This was a Homey Clowns plush. I picked it up and looked at it. They've got some decent resale value on eBay. I threw it in the cart. I did end up eventually taking it out of the cart and putting it back because it had a stain on it. And I didn't really want to deal with it. I mean, for the amount I was going to pay and how much I would make, it was not worth my time, honestly. And then they had these Eddie Bauer travel mugs. That one was still new with the tags on it. So I did pick up both of these. They were a nice, high glazed cobalt blue ceramic. And I was like, oh, let me pick those up. I'll comp them out in a little while and see, what they go for. Again, I did end up putting those back as well because the comp values were not that high. I thought they would be much higher than what they were. I traveled over here. There was some of the Thirsty Coaster kind of things. There was 4. in the package, and there was 2 different packages of them. So I did look those over. I think I ended up picking them up because I was going to comp them out. Those can do pretty well on eBay. But again, after putting it in my cart, I did end up putting those back before I checked out because I went to pull the tape off to make sure that all the coasters were the same, they matched up or whatever. And when I went to try to pull the tape off to check that, it was pulling the cork off the bottom of the coasters. So the tape was destroying them. So again, it was like, I'm not going to deal with this tape for what I could make off of these on eBay. So I did end up setting those back as well. And moving those cups down before I ended up comping them and putting them back because they were rattling around. I was afraid I was going to break them. I was really tired today, so I was like, breakage is definitely going to be inevitable, so let me do all I can to avoid that if I can. So that's why I was readjusting things. So I went through, there was the Jeanette glass, the iris plate down there on the bottom. Look through here, there was a Steelers Tervis. Again, it wasn't new. If it had been new, I probably would have picked it up to try to resell it, make a little bit off of, but the used ones are really hard to make anything off of. Unless you get them really super cheap. I thought this was a cute little travel mug. I hadn't seen this one before with a fish on it. And Galleyware Company, I believe it said. I picked it up initially as well, and then did end up putting it back as well because I comped it. And they were not selling. There were a lot listed, but really no sold, so I was trying to be a little more picky today since I had already been to that estate sale. I was just trying to get things that were, kind of a sure bet, or at least comped out to be something. I really like this little decanter here. And I picked it up because I was considering getting this because it was a nice heavy piece. It was like a brilliant cut. It was really nice, but I did open it up and look at the stopper on the inside. It had some bad chipping on the base of the stopper, so I didn't want to take a chance on it for that price. Look through the rest of the clear glass. Not really finding a whole lot in there today. It was kind of picked over that, or they had not restocked very well. I did like this piece. I didn't know who the maker was. But it felt like a nice weighty piece. It was pretty heavy. And it had a nice spout on it. But I just didn't pick it up. It would be a complete guesstimation and a lot of research to figure out who had made that. So again, I was trying to be pickier. I was looking for the easy online sales today. Something that I knew what it was, that I could easily list and not have to do a lot of research. See, as you see, the shelves are pretty empty. There was a restocking cart right there in front of me. So I did end up kind of going through that stuff a little bit. I found some mugs in there that were interesting to me. And it was these large sailing ships of the world, large sailing ship of the world kind of mug. And it had different locations of where the ship was initially made, I suppose. And there were 4 different ones. So I picked those up because they were interesting. They were made in Spain, which, doesn't mean it has any value necessarily. But I just liked, that the ships were on there. It was like a picture of the ships, and just something about them spoke to me. So I did end up going through all the mugs that were in this cart. There was like a Florida tourist mug. I didn't get that one. It was like, I thought that was a ship in a bottle, but it was seashells in a bottle. There wasn't a lot in this cart that people hadn't already grabbed up. I keep looking at these ship mugs. So I ended up picking up all 4 of those and putting them in my cart. The problem why I kept, I usually don't fuss that much over mugs because, you're not paying a ton of money for them. But the price sticker on those mugs, it had on there that they were $29.99. That's why I kept looking at them and trying to figure out why they had them priced so high. There was another mug in there that didn't have anything to do with that was also priced at $29.99. So I assumed that they had just mispriced them with their price gun, or somebody in the back was, a little loopy that day, or whatever was going on in their lives. So I ended up picking those up. Figured I would ask at the cash register why the pricing was what it was. I saw this abacus, so I thought it was pretty intriguing, so I did go ahead and pick that up. I don't think there's a ton of value in it, but it was a good price, and I love stuff like that, so give it a little pat for good luck. And this is kind of cute. It was like, I guess it's a tissue holder. You pull the tissues out of the little chimney thing there. It was a Halloween theme. I didn't see a price on it. It was like, I really don't want to hold on to Halloween stuff right now. I'm already collecting Christmas stuff for our Christmas in July sale, so I don't have a lot of room to hold on to Halloween as well. And if it had been something that was truly like super vintage, I probably would have grabbed it. They had these little plastic, like touristy, location kind of trays, and it was a whole bag of them. So I went ahead and grabbed that just because of the quantity that was there. I did get this Pillsbury cookie cookbook. The front flap was loose on it, but I still ended up picking it up because the graphics on it were amazing. And I thought of Miss Katie with this one, with the congealed salad and salad cookbook. And the Sweet Moment desserts, I went through and I looked at the date on this one, and I believe it was 1960. Let's see if it shows. I believe it was like 1960 something. I can't remember. I went through the rest of these little smaller cookbooks. I didn't see anything that was really vintage, so I kind of went through some of the other ones to see if there was anything interesting. So just scanning around, I did end up finding, I had picked up a couple of cookbooks the previous week that I showed in my haul that were vintage, like Nigerian cookbook and Kenyan cookbook, all these things. Well, I found that one, and that was just, I think it was called an African cookbook. It was pretty interesting. I flipped through it really fast before I set it down. And I don't know if there's any value there, but I found it interesting, so I assume somebody else would. kind of glancing over some of the baskets here. I didn't find anything in that section. And then this caught my eye. There was some fabrics over there. And then I saw these little posters. So, of course, I had to look at them because they looked strange. So I took some time to kind of film all of them because they were just, some of them were kind of funny, some of them were just weird. That was talking about the mouth urinal. I thought this one was kind of pretty. I was moving a candlestick down to the floor because it was right in the way somebody had set it up there. I was afraid I was going to knock it off. So I don't know what these were supposed to be. I don't know if it was like some printing company. This was like, you know, their extra prints they had made up, or what exactly it was. Yeah, I could see there was like a one for a lawyer, and I don't know. But, you know, I was tired, so I was taking a moment to try to get a chuckle in where I could. So I don't know what all that was supposed to be. I know I wasted some time doing that, but like I said, I was just trying to get a smile in where I could. I looked at this fabric. It looked like it was almost a full bolt. I mean, it was quite a bit. I was considering picking it up. And there was some more fabric on the floor. And I was looking at it as well. They had it priced pretty good. But for a whole bolt, I mean, it was still pretty cheap. But then I started considering having to ship that. And I decided against it pretty quickly when I thought of that. I looked through some of this artwork. I thought that was pretty interesting. I set it in my cart, and I tried to zoom in on who the maker was so that I could look it up. Because, of course, I didn't have my reading glasses, so I couldn't see it in the store. So I was like, oh, let me just use my camera zoom thing and see if I can figure out what that says. So it looks like it says Wang, or Wang, I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize to the person. 81. So I did end up comping that a few minutes later. I couldn't find anything like that on sold comps, and I didn't take the time while I was in there to do like a Google search. So inevitably I ended up putting it down because I already have a bunch of art that I need to deal with, and I don't need to stockpile that stuff. It does take up quite a bit of room, even, you know, leaned up against a wall somewhere. I just thought this was beautiful. I didn't even comp it, but Casa Loma. Just look how pretty that is. I probably should have tried to comp it, but you know, that was about the time I was sitting there going, should I really get more artwork? I have tons of it stacked up right now that I need to do something with. And this caught my attention. I guess it's like the old school teacher in me. But I was looking at this going, this is so educational. It's showing where you got the Native Americans got the colors to do all of their work with, you know, and it was like, showed all the plants and where they had, you know, where they got the red and the yellow and all from natural materials. And I was like, I wouldn't want to ship this because it would probably break apart from, you know, being handled roughly or whatever during shipping, and I was afraid it would just fall apart. But I did consider it for a while because I was like, this is so educational. Again, I thought that was a nice piece. But it's like the size of the frame and everything deterred me from picking that up. I ended up putting that back, so I was like, somebody, you know, it's during homeschool or whatever, could use that. And I looked at this one again because it was like, I really like this. But and like I said, inevitably I did put all the artwork back because I have a ton of it. And shipping it is not simple. It is a lot of work to ship those. So again, I'm still looking over it to make sure there's nothing that just is amazing that I can't, you know, I can't live without. I'm sorry for the picture of the wall there, but there was a lady standing there and I couldn't get around her. And I wanted to look at this poster. It's a Star Trek poster, Next Generation. But the reason I wanted to look at it is because it had like lights in it where you could plug it in or put batteries in it and the lights would come on the ship. Once again, I was tired, so I didn't really take a lot of time. I didn't go back and comp that or anything. I was just so tired. I was not in my game today. It was not 100%. So there could have been some good value in that poster, but again, it was like shipping it. It was a large piece, and it's not a poster that you could roll up and put in a tube because it's got the lights in it. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I found this cute little lamp. It was not very old. Okay, so I'm going to fill you in on the deets to my recent, like as in 60 seconds ago, Salvation Army encounter. So I had picked up these mugs. I'm sure I have them on video. Hopefully I do. And it had these ships on them. Cute mugs, kind of cool, whatever. They had them marked $29.99 each for a mug. I was like, what in God's name are they thinking? So I was like, you know, even if I'm lucky on eBay, I might get $15 for one of those if I'm lucky. And these had a little bit of paint loss and stuff, so I was like thinking more like 12. So I take them up to the counter when I'm checking out, and I ask them why they have them marked $29.99 each. The woman proceeds to tell me that they're part of a set. And I said, well, no, they're not part of a set. There's 4 mugs there, but there's no pitcher or teapot or whatever you want to call it, you know, with it. There's no pot with it at all. It's just 4 mugs, and they don't match. I mean, they do match because they're made by the same company, It was for different ships, so I was like, okay, that's fine. I wasn't going to sell them together anyway. I was going to split them up and sell them all separately. So I had already looked them up. I had already comped them in the store because, of course, you know, my spidey sense is going off telling me these may be okay, but why the heck are they marked $29.99? So I looked them up in the store. The only thing I found that had sold in the past like 4, 5, 6 months on eBay was a set, and I can't remember if it had 4 or 6 mugs, but it had, you know, at least as many as what they were showing there. And it had the pot to go with it. I don't think it had a cream and sugar. I can't remember now. I'm tired, guys. give me a break on this one. But I know it at least had the tea pitcher with it. Or the teapot, I should say. Tea pitcher. I'm thirsty too, apparently. So, as she goes to the back to check on why they're marked that way, the other woman comes back up there and tells me, oh, that's because we looked them up, and that's how much they're selling for. And I said, no, they're not. So she pulls up on her phone, and she pulls up a listing, a current listing, grant you, of one of those mugs going for they've got it listed at $24.95. And she said, see, these are selling for $24.95. And I said, no, they're not. Those are listed for $24.95. I said, I can list them for $5,000 if I want to. That doesn't mean that's what their value is or what they're worth. I said, you need to go and look under sold listings to get a more accurate representation of what they are selling for. She didn't know how to do that. So I tried to describe to her how to do that on her phone in hopes that in the future, maybe they will price things accordingly instead of what they're seeing things listed for. They will price them according to what they're actually selling for. So they wouldn't come down on the price of them. I was willing, you know, to give them, honestly, at that point, I wasn't willing to give them anything for them. I was so frustrated, as if I'm being 100% honest. So, before all of that, of her trying to tell me how I should look up values for things, because, you know, I know nothing about that, but whatever. There's always somebody that knows more than you, or they think they do. So, after she schooled me on how I should be looking up values for things, and I had to turn around and school her on how she was doing it completely incorrectly, I told them I no longer was interested in those mugs, that they could take them and shove them back on the shelves, and I let them know no one is going to buy those at that price, because no one that is a reseller is going to pay more than what they can sell them for. And I can't see the regular everyday Joe walking in there and just going, ooh, I really like that mug. I want to pay $29 for it. Who's going to do that? So, anyway, that's my whining, complaining story. Venting for the story for the day, hopefully. Sorry, guys. I just get real frustrated when I have people that don't do this for a living try to tell me how I'm supposed to do it for a living. I don't go in there and tell them how they're supposed to stock the store or clean the store or ring people up. Although maybe I should tell them how they're supposed to price things, because they're doing it entirely wrong. But that's fine. I didn't want to get kicked out of there, because I do like going to that store every once in a while, because I do find things in there every once in a while that are of some value that they've overlooked, because the things they think are so expensive and so cool are usually not the things that actually have value. But that's okay. I'm not going to try to tell them what they should do. So anyway, to get me out of that grand funk that I'm in now, I'm already sleepy, tired, whatever you want to call it, from not getting any rest. I've been to a nasty estate sale this morning where I had to dig through dirt and grunge and everything else and go home and clean up. And then I go to that store and I'm met with attitude. So to get me out of this funk that I have now been presented, I am going to go to my little, sweet little elderly lady run thrift store. The sweet little elderly ladies in there are quiet and lovely, and they do nothing but smile at me. So I am going to go in there and see if they have anything good before they close and get a little nurturing from these wonderful ladies, because I have never encountered any problems in this store. They always give you good prices. They're always super sweet. They don't harass you when you're shopping. They just sit back there drinking their tea, eating a piece of chocolate or whatever, waiting for you to check out. If you have a question, they may not know how to answer it, but they will tell you they don't know how to answer it. And if there's not a price on something, they don't have to go to a manager and make a huge deal out of it. They just put a price on it. It's pretty simple. They're like, how about $1? And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. That's the way they price things. So I'm going to go to my sweet little old lady thrift store that I like. I haven't been there in a couple of weeks because they're kind of running low on inventory. So I was trying to let it kind of restock a little bit in hopes they would have something new for me. So I am hoping that they've gotten something cool. And even if it's only a couple of things, that's fine. I'm good with that. But I'm going to go see what they have. Oh shoot, I have to have cash for them. They don't take credit card. I gotta see how much cash I have. I know I don't have much. So I guess that's going to limit how much I buy. That's for sure. Alright, so I'm only a couple minutes away, so I'm going to run in there and see if there's anything cool. Like I said before, this one is so tiny. I will try to video, but it is really tiny. So if I can't, please forgive me and just understand, and I'll at least show you what I got. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Wish me luck. Although in here, sweet ladies, it's always a joy just to go in and talk to them. So either way, I'm good. Alright, I'll see you in a few.